I want you to talk about niche content because I find that to be an interesting way for SVOD to maybe scale and move in another direction. So
Yeah, well, so on niche content, actually, there's a question. Hopefully, I'm not overstepping my bounds and looking at the Q&A a little early, but there's actually a question here on what we think on niche content, right,
correct.
versus
That's
the
correct.
big broad services. You can have a niche service that's perfectly profitable, that the goal isn't necessarily to eat the world, right? Your goal is to serve your customers well. And I think that there are some services that are really doing a phenomenal job of building community and understanding what's important to their particular segment. We recently had a speaker from Quelly TV who specializes in the Black and African American community, right? And they have actual live in-person community events in different communities. They have engagement panels that people can come on and talk to some of their lead stars and personalities and have community organizations. There's a couple of networks that are LGBTQ plus focused that are doing a really phenomenal job connecting. And it might be more niche for a certain segment of the population, but you can have a perfectly profitable service. So I think that there's room kind of for everybody. And I think that those things, people are continuing to build their stack. You've got these foundational services that are going to be the top 5, 6, right? That you're going to maybe add 1 or 2 to your stack, and then the niche things that make sense to you. And for 30% of households, it's going to be sports. It's going to be in your stack, and for everybody else, it's BritBox, right?
Exactly. I mean, Acorn, Criterion. I mean, Acorn. I think I subscribe to maybe like 16 things. Okay, it's a write-off, but still, it's all there. And then somebody comes up and says, "Hey, yeah, you're watching Hulu?" No, not really. Well, there's the show The Bear. Oh yeah. Hits find themselves all over the place, and who knows what makes a hit. I mean, I thought it was interesting, Evan, when you talked about Stranger Things. Oh my God, when that hit in 2017, it was like crazy. I think that was the only season that I watched. The whole thing was the first season. No disrespect to the other seasons, because I think that it's brilliant what they do, but maybe we've shrunk the window for some of these hits, even though they're persistent.
Netflix steadfastly, I mean, they're reversing every decision they always said they would never make, ads. But they're like, we're not going to roll things out week at a time, when it's really working incredibly well for HBO Max and Hulu.
Amen.
And Apple and all these other, it's, it keeps people subscribed longer. And so they dropped 2 different halves of the Stranger Things season, which is basically them admitting that we need to start rolling things out 1 week at a time. And that's gonna happen very, very soon, especially when they start adding ads. Look, I think that the niche, I'd be interested if you have data on this, Jennifer, but I've seen data that shows that the niche services actually churn at a lower rate than the premium services, because it's just something I care about a lot. And I think cults are better businesses than passive viewership. And you can have a perfectly profitable, as Jennifer said, Crunchyroll, really, really amazing product that has a very consistent user base, because it's day and date anime with stuff that's landing in Japan. Those users will not quit. They're just not going anywhere, and they're young. So I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see, so Sony bought that, but I think you're going to see things like Shudder and BritBox get swallowed up by these more mass Death Stars, because they're just good anti-churn mechanisms.